Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jordan here, and today I have a video I hope you'll find helpful as we dive into the world that is share investing. There are many people out there that see the stock market as a scary and dangerous place, but I hope I can help you overcome these fears and the steep learning curve that is getting started. First and foremost, welcome to the first step in wealth creation. Making your money work for you is a principle that has made many a successful person in the past and will continue to be a staple principle well into the future. The ultimate goals of investing are to make your money work for you, generate wealth in the future, and get more comfortable with the marketplace in general. I hope to give you the foundational tools that you'll need to get started investing into the Australian Stock Exchange. Please note that this video is targeted towards Australian residents, as things like brokers and taxes will be explained in terms of being an Australian resident. However, the fundamentals regarding the share market and risk will apply to anyone who invests financially. There are lots of different categories of traders in the marketplace, but we're going to focus on the three main ones that you should get familiar with. Generally, we have investors, which make up our long-term holders of 1 year plus, which is where most people start. Then we move on to swing traders, which I've defined as people holding onto shares for generally a few days to a few weeks to take advantage of some of the short-term opportunities that may arise. And lastly, we have day traders, which generally hold onto shares for a few minutes to hours and up to 1 day. This can be the most rewarding type of trading, and your risk can be controlled as your money isn't exposed to the market for a long period of time. Perhaps the most important part of getting started in trading or investing is starting with a paper trading account. This gives you the ability to learn about the stock market and how it works without risking your own money. Emotions are the main reason that people lose money in the share market, and although you will not be able to be as emotional about this money as you will because it's not your very own, it is a good stepping stone in being able to establish foundational knowledge about the stock market. Everything I talk about in this video is from my personal experience in investing and my understanding of the stock market, and should not be taken as financial advice. I don't know you or your financial situation, so all my information is based on my experience and research. A company called IG Markets have a paper trading platform which will allow you to trade with paper money and gain some knowledge about placing orders, which I'll also explain later in this video, and how the stock market moves. Although this step is not always necessary if you are just investing with small amounts, this is a foundational step in the process, and you should ideally take a few weeks or months of practice if you are going to invest sizable amounts of money in the stock market. I found this step extremely helpful when I was starting out, especially when it comes to losses, and the decision to cut things short and move on, or hold on to my decision. As a beginner, you're probably wanting to establish a sound investing philosophy. And as a beginner, my philosophy was to buy large companies that I knew were well known and those that I thought would be around for a long time. As you enhance your trading knowledge and progress through the realm that is the stock market, you will find what you are comfortable with and attain your own philosophy. And it is completely okay if that changes over time. In order to trade stocks on the ASX, you will need to open an account with a broker, which is a connection between you and the secondary market where stocks are both bought and sold. All the brokers I've researched are free to open an account, and they are free to join. The brokers that I've researched as good for beginners are not limited to the following, but these are the three that I've tagged as being varied in their options and catering to your needs as a beginner. They consist of CommSec, NabTrade, and SelfWealth. So let's dig a little bit deeper into exactly what these brokers have to offer. The first one is CommSec, and CommSec is a great all-round broker with the ability to set up an account with them or bring your own bank account. Although if you do bring your own bank account, this will mean more expensive brokerage, which is the amount that you pay to buy and sell stocks. They've just recently upgraded their charting software, and it is exceptionally better than the following two brokers in terms of charting and broker recommendations. It has a medium price brokerage fee, which you will pay whenever you wish to both buy and sell stocks. They also offer an international shares option to trade share markets around the world, such as the New York Stock Exchange. Brokerage for CommSec is currently $10 up to $1,000 worth of shares, $19.95 for up to $10,000 worth of shares, and $29.95 for up to $25,000 worth of shares, with the last amount showed on the page, as you can see, being a percentage of the overall value of 0.12% over $25,000. Meaning that if you traded $100,000 worth of shares, your brokerage would be $120. The next broker is NAB Trade. NAB Trade is another good broker to trade for the ASX, but has a slightly more expensive brokerage fees for smalling trade amounts, under $1,000 roughly, but gets cheaper as you progress to larger trade amounts. Their charting software isn't as good as CommSec, but it is better than Self-Wealth in my opinion. They also offer international trading options similar to CommSec. Brokerage for NAB Trade is $14.95 for up to $5,000 worth of shares, $19.95 for up to $20,000 worth of shares, and 0.11% over $20,000 of shares. Meaning that if you traded $100,000 worth of shares, your brokerage would be $110. The last of the three brokers is Self-Wealth. Self-Wealth is a newer broker that is gaining a bit more traction, especially amongst beginners in the ASX. Their platform is much simpler than the previous two brokers in terms of charting and company research, and they don't offer any international share trading options. Brokerage with Self-Wealth is currently $9.50 per trade, regardless of the trade value. So for 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000 worth of shares, the brokerage fee you'll pay to buy and sell is a flat rate of $9.50. This is a great platform for beginners and anyone willing to have as low a brokerage as possible. When it comes to purchasing shares on the stock market, the goal is often simple: buy low and sell high. There are 4 types of orders you should be familiar with when it comes to investing. They consist of buy market order, buy limit order, sell market order, and sell limit order. A buy market order is an order that you place if you wish to purchase a particular stock. In this case, we're using CBA. If we use 1,000 shares as our quantity, which is how much we wish to buy under a buy market order, it will process at whatever the market price is currently. As you can see in the top left corner, it is currently $69.63 per share. For this order expiry, in this case, I've selected good for day, which you can see down the bottom. You can choose good for day or good till expiry. Good for day means that it will execute today or right now. And good for expiry means that if it doesn't get filled at the current price, that order will stay valid for 20 days. So if for some reason the price spikes or the price drops quite significantly, that order will stay there at that price for up to 20 days until it's executed. This ordering system is extremely similar no matter what broker you choose to use. So all brokers are pretty much the same. The next type of order we have here is a buy limit order. This is an order you will place if you want to purchase a particular stock at a specific price. So the same as before, as you can see, the current price is $69.63. We've entered the same quantity of 1,000 shares, but however, in this case, I've set my limit for $68. This means that the broker won't process my order unless the share price gets to $68 or lower. So remember, we want to buy as low as possible to ensure that our return is the greatest. In this instance, with a buy limit order, if the share market opens the next day at $65 and Commonwealth Bank opens at $65, the market will process your order at the $65 mark or thereabouts because it is below our limit, our ceiling of $68. Next, we have a sell market order. This is identical to a buy market except on the sell side, meaning that you must have purchased the stock at a previous date and now you wish to sell at whatever the current price is. So similar to before, as you can see, the current market price is $69.63. So this will be the price that we sell at if we had any shares to sell. So you can choose the entire quantity of 1,000 as for the example that we used before, or you can sell a portion. So if you had 1,000, you could sell 100, 200, whatever it may be. The last type of order you should be familiar with is a sell limit order. This is similar to a buy limit in which we tell the broker what price we are willing to sell at. The only difference is that a sell limit will not be executed until the stock price is at your specific price or higher. So buy low, sell high. So in this instance, we set our sell limit for $72, meaning that if the stock opens at 76, the market will execute our order at the 76 level, or at our limit. As long as it's above our limit of 72, the stock market will execute it. By far the most confusing of the two order types are the buy limit and sell limit. So I've included a diagram that will explain at a greater level what they are. We can see that the market price is currently $69.63, so we decide that we want to buy CBA shares. In this instance, we would place a buy limit order at $68 a share, and if the share market opens up the next day and CBA shares are worth $65 a share, my order will get executed around the $65 mark, and we would own 1,000 shares. At this time, we get to choose what we want to do, whether we want to just hold on to the shares and sell them at the market price sometime in the future, or we can place a sell limit order. In this instance, we're going to place a sell limit order, and we're going to set that for $72. The next day, the share market opens up and CBA is worth $75 a share, and my sell limit order, because it's above my limit price of $72, will get executed at $75, meaning that I've made $10 per share or $10,000 in profit. In Australia, we need to declare any capital gains that arise from investing as extra income. Capital gains can be worked out by taking the total value of shares we have sold and deducting what we paid for the shares. In this instance, we paid $65,000 for the shares, $65 a share times by 1,000 quantity, and sold the entire amount for $75,000, $75 a share times 1,000 quantity. Therefore, I am liable to report to the ATO or my accountant that I earn a little extra income in the amount of a $10,000 capital gain. Under income tax law in Australia, there is an exception that if I had held onto those shares and sold them after holding them for a period of over 12 months, let's say 13 months for example, I would only have to pay tax on half of the capital gain. For instance, we had a capital gain of $10,000. If we didn't sell the shares the next week for a $10,000 profit, but instead held them for over 12 months, or the 13-month example, and sold them at the same price of $75, we would only have to pay tax on a $5,000 capital gain, and the remaining $5,000 or 50% would be tax-free. Some additional software I could provide you if you're wanting to learn more about shares and all things finance is TradingView software. It's available as an app or on your PC or Mac or whatever desktop you use. It is super helpful in getting familiar with charts, patterns, and trends, and will become extremely helpful as you progress in the investing world. I really hope you guys found this video helpful and would be interested to see if there are any other topics that you would like discussed. Please let me know below if there are. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.